This is One Fat Boy, and here are my NBA game predictions for March 13th. Tonight there's 8 games. I'll be going over these spreads and over-unders for each of them. For the Knicks at Brooklyn, we're going with the Knicks plus 6. The way the Knicks have been playing, they've been playing much better, much faster, and they've been keeping it close against better teams and beating teams that are like towards the bottom half of the league. So just the consistency that the Knicks have been playing with, I think it's safer to take him as an underdog, and I'd almost be willing to take him winning too. But with the Nets, you have Durant, and then pretty much just put the ball in his hands. It's like there's pretty much going to be a buck to be scored, at least like 1 point per shot, 1.5 points per shot. And if like 1 or 2 people can get going for Brooklyn too, Brooklyn will win, which I'd just lean towards Brooklyn winning overall. If you just think like 1 or 2 people are going to show up, but I think Knicks have been playing better as a team, so I think it's better to just take the Knicks as an underdog for the spread. But I will be going over 224.5 as Knicks have been playing faster and scoring more points, and Brooklyn has just been scoring a lot of points, so I think it's pretty safe to take an over for this game. For the Clippers at Detroit, we're going with Detroit plus 5, but overall for the spread, this probably wouldn't be a game I'd be willing to bet the spread on because the way that Detroit's been playing well, but they're still like at the bottom of the league, so they're not a great team, but they have been playing better. They've beaten some teams while playing in Detroit, which they are playing at Detroit, so if you think that Detroit's going to continue that trend of playing well at home and beating like decent teams at home, take Detroit plus 5. But I think the Clippers, who have like better pieces than Detroit, and who are better coached than Detroit, then obviously take the Clippers to win. But overall, I'll just be leaning towards Detroit as the underdog, just having the 5 points to work with. We'll be going over 218.5 as this is also another one where it's like if you really think the Clippers are going to clamp down on defense, take the under 218.5. But I think there's scenarios because I think Detroit, if they do keep it with 1 plus 5, that means they're going to score like 110 points somewhere in there, like between like 110 and 115, which I'll likely bring it to an over. Then the Clippers can also get hot from 3, which I'll also bring it over. So both teams can score, but also both teams can go cold. But I think overall, one or both these teams are going to get hot, and we'll bring it over 218.5. For the Mavericks at Boston, or with Boston minus 5.5. So both teams have been playing very well, and you can obviously take Mavericks plus 5.5 too. But I think there's just more injuries on the Mavericks. I think with Boston's defense, they have enough players that they can throw at Doncic to throw him, to like slow him down. So I think that gives Boston the edge. But you think that is not going to phase Luka at all, obviously go with the Mavericks plus 5.5. But I think the way Boston's been playing more consistently, really good defense, I think Boston should win and cover a 5.5 spread. That seems reasonable. We'll be going under 217 as both teams have very good defenses. And I expect defense to win it for either of these teams, or unless one team just goes like nuclear. This should lean towards an under, so be going under 217. For the Sixers at the Magic, I think the Sixers are going to bounce back and have a good game against the Magic. And I think Philadelphia should win. I think 13 points, that seems very possible for Philadelphia to cover. It'll probably end up being like between like 11 and 15 points that they win by. But as long as like Harden and Embiid can get going, that puts a lot of defense focal on them. Then can get the other players involved. But I think between those two, that's more than enough to beat the Magic. We're going over 223, as I think Orlando's defense will have little to no effect on the Sixers. So as long as the Sixers can just run their offense, get good quality shots and make them. I mean, that's what they've been doing all year against like the worser teams, just been taking care of them. So I don't expect anything different tonight. And I think Sixers will have easy time scoring. Like the only reason why this would go under is if the Sixers defense just really slows down the Magic. But Magic have been playing all right on offense. Like as long as they score like that 104 points, I think the Sixers can get like that 119 to cover the over. For Houston at New Orleans, going to Houston plus 5.5. So New Orleans has the injuries to McCollum and Ingram, and I think Houston will be able to take advantage of that, which out of all the games today with the underdog, I think Houston's probably most likely underdog to win because the way they've been playing, as long as like Green continues shooting and as Houston stays hot, how they've been shooting, I think there'll be a lot of offense that Houston will put up, and it's going to be hard for New Orleans to keep up with that. So hence I'll be taking Houston plus 5.5 because I really don't expect Houston's defense to really affect New Orleans. It'll just be more like New Orleans just not having players affecting their offense, because I think New Orleans' defense will be fine. It's just Houston puts up a lot of points. They'll just give up a lot of points, but I think they'll be putting up a lot of points this game. Hence why I'm going over 228. As if Houston is going to win, they're going to have to dumpster a lot of points on New Orleans. And it'll just be like hot pretty much all game, or at least like for 3.5 quarters, maybe 3, just because not a lot of people left on New Orleans that are healthy. But over 228, as I'm feeling really bullish on the Rockets for this game. For Indiana at Atlanta, I'm going with Indiana plus 11.5. I personally have not been having a lot of faith on Atlanta ever since the All-Star break. They've been kind of up and down. Like they should win this game. They're only missing John Collins, but he's been an important part as he's kind of like the consistent guy on Atlanta. And with Indiana playing last night, but they won, so it's like also won against the Spurs too, who the Spurs have been playing better. I think that Indiana will just keep it close, like within 11.5. I don't expect Indiana to win. I do expect Atlanta to win though, but I do expect Indiana to at least keep it close. Hence, I'm leaning towards a spread of 11.5. But I will be going under 236.5 because I think Atlanta's scoring is kind of inconsistent. India has a little bit more consistent scoring wise, but I think 236 is kind of pushing it for this game because if it does go over, like I think the highest amount I do see adding this up between the two would probably be like 244, but I see this game more in like that 228 range, like between like 226 and 233. That's where I kind of see this game, but 236, I think it's safer to go under for this. For Memphis at OKC, so OKC's missing important players like Dort and Giddey, so I just had to lean towards Memphis in general, as normally I'd usually take OKC plus 13 if they just had all their players, but I think Memphis, even if they're not fully healthy, I think Memphis, their system is better overall. They'll just score a lot of points. It's going to be hard for OKC to keep up with that, so hence I'm going Memphis minus 13, and Memphis winning in general. We'll be going under 230 because I think OKC is just going to have a hard time scoring the ball as no one's really there except for Gilgeous-Alexander to score for OKC. So Memphis would have to put up like 135 because I don't think OKC is going to be breaking 100 points. So Memphis would have to score a lot to cover this 230, so hence why I'm going under 230. And Memphis should have an easy win. Like this should be like a comeback game, start a new win streak, or build on it. For the Lakers at the Suns, we go with Phoenix minus 8.5. The Suns, and especially Suns fans, like to beat up on the Lakers, so I expect nothing different. They should have a game plan to slow down LeBron. I'm sure LeBron's going to show up, but I think he's really going to have to work. He shouldn't be able to score 50 points on the Suns. I'm going to throw that one out there. Won't be surprised about 30, but 50 seems too much, and if the Lakers are going to win games, he has to score 50, as that's been the trend. But Phoenix should be able to win just due to their system, how they play offense, how they play defense. We'll be over 228.5, as I think Phoenix will be able to play a full 4 quarters and just score a lot on the Lakers. It's going to be hard for the Lakers to keep up with the Suns. I'm sure the Lakers, they'll have like 2 good quarters, and that's where they get most of their points. And hence I'll probably go over 220.5, but it's going to be mostly on the Suns doing all the scoring and doing all the winning. Thank you for watching. As always, bet responsibly, have fun watching sports, and good luck with betting, and thanks for watching.